it's Amélie. Today we're gonna answer some questions that we've received since the last podcast. And also we will do the giveaway. So I will say who won. So first question from Prokop Orej. Do you think the Azumi 3 flute, everything sterling silver open hole B-foot, is okay to get into a music school with? Well, we did a review that we released very recently about the Azumi 2 flute. You can go and check it out on our channel. I guess sterling silver open hole looks good to me. You should try many because it's all about how you feel playing that flute and how it makes you sound. And also, if you do buy one, please use a TFC code. It's our code with the Flute Center of New York if you buy it through Flute Center of New York. Next question. Chava Lei. What do you think of Azumi flute with Z head joint? And also, okay, so Azumi flute, I don't know, the flute we reviewed, I can't remember if it had Z head joint. But as I usually say, you should try it and check how it sounds for you. I remember when I tried the Azumi flute, I liked it. So yeah, you should try it. The other question is, when using vibrato, is variation from the throat or by breathing from variation in and out from diaphragm? Okay. There's some things in this question. First, the diaphragm is a membrane that we do not control directly. We control the muscles around that are our abdominal muscles mostly. The diaphragm just follows. We can't control it by our will. So I would say don't think of vibrato as coming from your throat, because it might become like this. You know, you don't want to close your throat and open it. It's really the air. I try to think of it as the air column going, but really it's like you give it a little bit more air, a little bit. It's a little air pulse, you know. Some researchers have checked, and there's something going on in the throat, but it's not in terms of closing and opening. It's probably helping the pulse of the. But one sure thing: be very careful not to close your throat, because you're gonna get a very not nice sound. So I would say, think of it as a variation in the air, little pulses in the air. In reality, it's the intonation that moves a little bit when you vibrate, but you do it through the air. Now, Michael Mendes. When you guys change the register, do you also change the way you approach the support? What do you recommend in terms of supporting in the high register? Yes, there's a change in the support when you go in the high register. When I go from one register to the other, there's something going on in my belly. If you put your hand on your belly and you go from low to high like this, I don't know if we see no, I'll stand. So you go, there's it goes up, you know, and I do the same thing when I do it with my flute. I get the same type of support going up. It helps with the air going faster. So I do the same, and you can hear the air is going faster. You know, so yeah, the air totally does a big part of the work, really. I hope that answers your question. Why was the flute the instrument you chose, or why did the flute appeal to you? Well, I remember I watched a movie with my parents as a little kid, and there was a flutist in the movie, and I was like, wow, what a nice instrument. Then I went in high school, and I didn't start music with everyone else in September. I started in November or something like that. The teacher said you can either get the flute or the oboe, and I remembered that movie and I took the flute. So that's it. And then I realized it was for me, really. I loved it. It's like singing, but better. You know, I had this feeling of being free. I liked it. Next question. What do you think of self-taught flutists? How are they different? Well, I think self-taught people usually have some type of creativity that maybe, I'm not like everyone can be creative, but I mean, if you didn't learn a certain way, you might find other ways to do things that are different, that might be interesting. On the other hand, because there's always two sides to a medal, you might have issues with things that with a good teacher, maybe because you don't have retroaction from someone else. So it's difficult to see yourself, and if you don't, you're not an expert, so you learn with sometimes just someone looking at you from an outside perspective will see, oh, if you just put your embouchure a little bit more out or something like that, your sound would be 10 times better right away. So yeah, it's but I think it's a good thing to be autonomous in learning things. And but if you're self-taught and you think you feel you don't grow as much, maybe you just need some outside view of what you're doing just to help. I hope that answers your question. Now, Ryan Wu asks, what's the best flute you have ever played on? Well. My favorite flute is my flute. Because I'm used to my flute, and I know it. I know which, how to make it sound in tune, and it's my flute. But I've played on a Brannan. That would probably be the best flute that people would agree that it's the best, reputation-wise. I've tried a very old flute recently. What was it? A very old Haynes with closed holes, and the sound was amazing. Very special flute, very old, but it's done in a different way. All the soldering, it's a different way than what we do now, and it sounded amazing. So I've also tried a Lev Levitt 2 years ago, and I really loved it. I fell in love with that flute. So yeah, very good flute maker. Jessie Van Spiker asks, my question here is, what is your favorite kind of flute? Okay, while the concert flute is the most prevalent, I've played on a variety of flutes, but there are so many out there. I've had some nice bamboo ones, I've played on some Native American variants, and a few others. What is your favorite in either the sound it makes or how it looks outside a typical concert flute? Well, I have a Traverso. I really like it. If not, I think shakuhachi sounds very good. It's they're all nice instruments, and depends on the repertoire you're playing. I've played with nai players, and it's also amazing. I don't really know, but personally I play this flute, so it's my favorite because that's the one I master. The other ones I don't, but yeah, they're all very nice because the wooden flutes, they have this different sound. It's more earthy. It's very interesting. Now there's Kiwifruit saying, at what stage would you recommend transitioning to an open hold flute from a closed hold one? Is it necessary at all? It is not necessary to go from closed holes to open holes. Right now, though, most intermediate and advanced models have open holes. usually the makers that they will make the closed holes for beginner flutes, but it was not like that before. It's something that's maybe 30 years old, that mentality of doing it that way. So maybe I would say more in terms of maybe you want to transition from a beginner flute to an intermediate flute. When you feel that you're doing everything right, your teacher looks at you and is like, yeah, everything's right, and the sound doesn't follow your work, or you work and you don't find that you're improving. Maybe your flute is blocking you. You should go and see a technician, see if there's anything wrong with your flute. One of my students recently, we had that problem with her. I was looking at her and I was saying, really, your posture is good, the way you blow it's good, like the sound doesn't follow you should go and see the technician. She went and saw her and she said, well, maybe you should change your flute because there's these problems. It would cost you more to repair almost than just get a better flute. And she's super happy with her new flute. It's all a question of look at what you can do with that flute and how you can make your life easier. So, but you can have a very good flute with closed holes. The flute I was talking about, the Haynes, the very old Haynes, it is a closed hole flute and it sounds amazing. Mary S. Punkt. Hi guys, I just bought a new flute, Azumi AZS3RE, with French-styled keys, before I played on a Yamaha flute with regular keys. Do you have any tips for me? How I can improve the posture, especially for my right hand? Does it make sense to try it first with just one open key and work my way up from there? Okay, I'm from Germany. I really like your channel. The video techniques are helping me a lot to improve. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, so now you have open holes. What I would do is I would start by removing the plugs from the thumb to the little finger, always in both hands. So start with your index finger, then your middle finger, and then your ring finger. You can also keep one or two. You don't have to remove them all. It doesn't change anything in your sound. Sometimes people don't like the feeling of those plugs under their fingers, but there's different types of plugs as well. So you can have metal plugs that sometimes have a better feel than the plastic plugs. You can look at that. Also for your posture, for your right hand, if you don't feel comfortable, you can try a thumb port. You put it on the flute here, and it helps holding your flute with your right hand. And yeah, so that's it for that. If you keep one or two plugs, it doesn't matter, you know, but it can be a good thing to remove them just for the hand position, but really it's not a big deal. Just as long as you're comfortable, you're not being hurt, and your fingers move as fast as you want them to move, and it's really what matters. Now, Finley Jones. Should I skip to grade 2 or just do grade 1? Okay, so I guess that's related to some what's the name, Royal Conservatory or something like that. I don't know how you play, so I don't know. If you feel that you don't have any challenge with grade 1, maybe you should skip to grade 2. Personally, I don't always follow those things because some students will go faster than those grades. And I try to follow the rhythm of my students. I use those things as guidelines, you know. So some people need challenges. I remember as a teenager when I started learning, I would tell my teacher, give me something hard, I need a challenge. And that's how I would keep myself motivated. If he gave me something too easy, I wouldn't practice as much. I would be like, oh, whatever, I don't need to practice that, it's easy. So yeah, it's depends on your psychology, what type of learner you are. yeah, if you feel that grade 1 doesn't challenge you enough, maybe just do what's in there fast and go to grade 2, or just skip directly. Hope this answers your question. Now, Cody Matikiewicz. How can you perfect your embouchure for a flute's highest notes? Okay. So the embouchure in the high register, you usually you need something that's stable. The upper lip doesn't move. The lower lip will move a little bit forward in the high register. I would say, you need the air to go a bit faster. So you can also close the hole a little bit more, so it will help that. But also, you don't want to do it too much if you want to play loud. So a whole question of balance. Yeah. Embouchure is something tricky because also it depends on the type of lips, on a lot of different things, because we don't work as hard here as we think we do sometimes. You don't want to have your lip in the way, Like personally, my lips are a bit big, not that big, but I put my flute just here, a little bit over my lower lip, and I bring it down, because if I just put it like this, it's in the way, and I have difficulty in the high register because it gets, so when I do this, it helps. But if you have very thin lips, you won't do it the same way as I do. You have to find your way with your physiognomy to make it efficient for you. And a lot of what we do as flutists is not seen outside. So when I play in the high register, I really open in the back to make it resonate. And yeah, it's like I open more higher here. That's how I feel it. And there's a little change in the where I send the air also for the intonation. I try to send it a bit lower. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I hope I'm being clear. If you have sub questions, don't hesitate to ask them. Now, Parfal Alfredo. That sounds good. What made you choose to play flute, and at what age did you start? So I started at 11 years old. Because of school, I was in a music program. I already played the piano, and we had to choose a second instrument, and the flute. It's that I explained a bit earlier. Now, Arturo Garcia. How do you personally work on different styles of playing? For example, a ballad versus a march. Okay. Well, I guess I try to figure out what's the emotion that I'm trying to express. And sometimes I try to invent a story that will go with that, or images. Very often I imagine lines and movements. Everyone's different in that matter. Like you can, some people will be more visual, some people will find stories, some people will think of smells. Like it's very sensory, so you have to find what inspires you. And also I'll try to see what's the period. Is the composer like, if it's Baroque, I won't vibrate as much as if it's romantic music. I try to play in style with what the composer wants, and or what I think he or she wanted, because it's we don't really know. So for a ballad, I would probably have more vibrato, more different types of intense emotions, maybe melancholy and sadness and maybe some anger. But with a march, maybe I would have more pride and I would play more rhythmically. Clearly in a march, I would play more in measure. But in a ballad, I might do a little bit of rubato. All those things. So I hope that helps. If you have other questions, don't hesitate. And Terrell Carey says, do you have or have any experience with any of the older open hole flutes out there, such as the Chinese dizzy, other bamboo flutes, or the old Irish open hole flutes? Not that much, no. I have some Chinese flutes that were given to me with open holes. I don't play them very well. I don't have enough time to do everything I would like to learn, everything I would like to learn. So no, I'm not an expert at all in those things. I just played a little bit for fun. Lisa Terra, when did you first get your flutter tongue? I don't remember. It's been a long time because that's not something I struggled to learn. Probably because I speak French. I don't know. French is my first language. I don't know. My teacher said just do and play the flute, and I don't remember when I learned it. We have a video about learning flutter tongue. I wish you can learn it easily. Thanks for a question. Now, Matthew Consterdine. How many flutes do you own and which one is your favorite? So I have one C flute, the normal flute. Well, I have another one. I have two of those, but one is my B flute for when the other one is being repaired, or if I want to play outside, something like that. And if I also have a piccolo and I have an alto flute. I love them all because they're all different, but I guess my C flute might be my favorite one. Yeah, I guess so. It's a Sankyo artist with a Wimberley head joint. And my piccolo is a Yamaha, and my alto flute is also a Sankyo. Very good alto flute. What are your future goals with your flute channel? Well, I hope, we hope that we can make a community that's alive. I would really enjoy to go in different cities and meet the people that are watching us, and maybe have group lessons and have a little concert and meet people. That would be something interesting. I'm also currently working on a method. The first book is prepared in my head. We just have to make it physical. And there's that. And also I will be working on some repertoire, doing a little bit more music videos in the next months, I guess. So that's our goals. If you have ideas for us, you can always share them. Okay. Satin Barbie says, how do you make practice fun? Okay. Well, sometimes, I don't know. I guess some days I don't feel like it that much, but usually when I take my flute, I'm happy I took it. You know, it's like going exercising. Sometimes, but when you did it, you feel good about it. So that's how I feel about the flute, but I try to do different things, not always the same exercises every day. I try to switch it around, like just move things around a little bit. And I try also to set goals for myself, because very often I feel we just say, I'm going to practice an hour or 2 hours or whatever. That's not a goal. Well, that's a goal, but it's not it's tangible because it's time, but I set goals like I'm going to learn this piece from there to there at this tempo, or I'm going to get this page better, something clear, so you can feel you have a sense of accomplishment. You know, and also it will make your practice more efficient because you're working towards something, not just killing time. That's something good. And yeah, that's what I do. And sometimes, yeah, it's pretty much that. So that's good. Blake Leahy, what is the highest note you can play? Well, I easily play the 4th register D. Once in another piece, I played a D sharp 4th octave. And I know you can go up to the F, but I never met it in a piece yet, so I never played it. But I guess I could play it. So the D sharp, I would have to look at the fingering because I just played it in one piece in my life. So I don't remember it by heart like that. It's not a big deal. I would just play it. Yeah, you can go up to the 4th octave F though. Angus Robbins, do you recommend pursuing grades or not? It all depends. Yeah, it can be a good, it can give you goals and make you proud and give you, like, you know, give you a certain rhythm in your learning. It depends how you feel about those things. Is it something that will motivate you, something that will make you stressed out or anxious? It's all a question of what you want from from your learning experience, and how you approach those things. Because if you see it as a motivational tool and an organization tool, because it also organizes your learning, I think it's a good thing. It's positive. Tun Mint. I'm sure I didn't pronounce this right. I'm very sorry. Why did you pick the flute to make a whole channel out of it? And what made you make a YouTube channel? Well, I picked the flute because that's what I know. That's what I know best. So that's what I can talk about. No, I know other stuff, but I chose the flute. I love the flute. And a YouTube channel? Well, we were talking together, Nicolas and I was teaching a lot, and he would say that my students were improving, and he was like, you must be a good teacher if your students improve like that. You should make a channel. I was like, well, I don't know if people are interested in what I have to say. Anyone can do that, but yeah, we did it. I'm very happy because I think it's being useful for people, and yeah. We're super happy that we're doing this, sharing our love of the flute with the world. Randy Fukazawa. What sort of exercises do you recommend to someone trying to strengthen their lower register? Okay. Maybe don't see it as strengthening. Might help you. Because you need relaxed embouchure in the low register. Well, yeah. And also think of your low register. Think that you're blowing warm air. Go take your hand and blow warm air in your hand. It's slower air. When you go in the high register, you'll blow cold air, which is faster. It's different. And keep it always firm. Your lips, like every register, but don't try to be, too strong, because you might just crack notes. You just want to be firm but relaxed, and you don't want your lower lip being in the way, like I explained earlier. Maybe there's something to do here. Just check and try things, If I put it there, if I put it a bit higher, what sounds better? Personally, I go like this, and then that's how I found my position. Because I had a tendency to smile, you should be just neutral. So I went like this, with this, like this, and then to rebalance my embouchure and put a bit on my lip and bring it down, and then it's warm air. So try that, and try to be open, and not bang, because that might be a problem if you think of just strengthening. Yeah. Just let it resonate. Think of it as resonating. Maybe it will help. Tell me if it helps this way. Or if it doesn't, I might try to find other ways to explain it. So, now, mekashi kako. Kaku. I'm very sorry. I hope I didn't pronounce it wrong. What would be a good audition piece for flute that you would recommend to enter with ensembles? Yeah, you can maybe chaminade. I also did two videos about chaminade. Just practicing with Amélie. You do where I go through the piece and I explain how I would learn it and where I breathe and all those things. There's other pieces. There's a lot of them. All the French book is very interesting. I like the what's the da 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 da, and the second movement goes dag 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 dag. Is it Enesco? Cantabile e presto, Enesco. That's good. Poulenc is good. The Mozart concertos are good. If you're some Vivaldi concertos are good too. Like it all depends, because maybe I don't know your level exactly. You know the Il Cardellino that goes it's in D major. It goes da 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 da, like this. That one. Yeah, there's In the Myth. We did another just practicing with Amélie with In the Myth Sonata. So yeah, maybe go online and listen to different things. It might inspire you. Julian Lawmaster. What are some common tryout excerpts used when auditioning for an orchestra? Well, there's Peter and the Wolf, there's Daphnis and Chloe, there's Brahms 4, there's Mendelssohn Scherzo, Beethoven, the Leonore Overture. Yeah, there's that. That's the one that come to mind fast like that, but there are books of excerpts. So yeah, you can check in those books and learn one here and there. And our last question for today, Darius Martin asks, what university do you suggest to go to? Wow. I don't know. It depends, like where you live. Do you want to move? I don't know. Yeah, you should look into the teachers, because if you're going in as a flute major, like if flute is going to be your main subject, your flute teacher is going to be a very big part of your decision, I guess. So when looking for a university, maybe look at who's teaching there. If you can ask people around about those teachers. If they do summer camps or master classes, maybe go and listen and see how you feel, you know. Not just if they have good reputation, but also how you feel, because you want to be happy while you're learning. Well, I guess personally I like being happy. And yeah, you should try to find a place, just visit places that you have on your list, and try to find the teacher that will suit you. I guess that would be the best way of doing it. So now the questions are done, and thanks for asking them, and you can leave other ones or any comment in the comment section below. Now we're gonna say who are the lucky winners. So we have Michael Mendes, Ryan Wu, and Julian Lawmaster. If the winners can check how to contact us in the description below, that will get a present from the Flute channel for our very happy, I don't know, because we had 10,000 subscribers and 1 million views on a video and all those things all at once. So We just feel happy. We want to share our joy with the world. So I hope you like this video. Please like it. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe, and see you next time.